We've been caught stealing once. Has that song been in your head, Alonso? Has caught stealing been stuck in your head?
Every time they name a movie after a song, whenever I see the title somewhere, like the song comes back. So yeah, It's a Man has been going in my head a lot.
Although that song is not in the movie Caught Stealing. Of all the all the songs, in this soundtrack, Darren Aronofsky likes his soundtracks. This song is not in it. Maybe that was too on the nose. But tell us what happens in this New York romp.
How much is there? Over 4 million. Shit. Everyone gets a cut. The Russians, the Puerto Ricans, the Hebrews.
It is 1998, which, as some people have pointed out, is the year that Darren Aronofsky's first feature, Pie, came out. We get Austin Butler as Hank. He is a bartender. We find out that he was a high school baseball prodigy, but it all went wrong. And we get some very disturbing flashbacks to how it went wrong because it's a Darren Aronofsky movie. This is also, however, kind of a caper involving something that Butler's punk neighbor, played by Matt Smith, may or may not have taken from the Brighton Beach Mafia, which puts Austin Butler in the crosshairs of various parties, including an assassin played by Bad Bunny, a couple of Russian thugs, and a couple of very Orthodox gangsters played by Liev Schreiber and Vincent D'Onofrio. Throw in an inquisitive police detective played by Regina King, and he is doing a lot of sweating and running and avoiding the people who are coming after him. This is, on the scale of Darren Aronofsky movies, a bit of a lighthearted romp, but because it is a Darren Aronofsky movie, you will get some open wounds and overflowing toilets and, just that kind of thing. And definitely some plot twists that maybe violate the contract that some people have with an action comedy where they think shooting is funny, killing is not funny. This movie is not necessarily interested in not upsetting you. So be ready for that. But it's breezy and smart and sharp. And Austin Butler is really good in this and really engaging as a protagonist. I think, a lot of people thought that Elvis was maybe kind of a fluke, but this movie really kind of shows him to be, somebody who's got the juice to carry a movie in this way. Terrific ensemble cast, Regina King, of course, and D'Onofrio and Schreiber, but also Zoë Kravitz and Griffin Dunn and not Action Bronson, but the guy at the bar. Shoot, why am I blanking on his name? But anyway, he's a figure as well. Actually, yeah, it is Action Bronson. Sorry, okay. I was wrong. Yes. Anyway, yeah, I enjoyed this quite a bit, and quite a bit more than some other Aronofsky movies I could mention.
Yeah, it's a fun balance here because it is like lighthearted and very spry, and maybe his most accessible movie ever. But also it harkens to like Pie and Requiem for a Dream in this late 90s setting, in the grunginess of it, in the gore of it, in the pre 9/11 New York of it. It feels like, although it is, it's super grimy, and we are in Alphabet City as it is being gentrified. It's still, it's not the New York that we know now. Right. So there's almost like a nostalgia for that, but also an innocence almost within the grime and the crime and all of that. So it's a kind of a cool balance. He's working with Matthew Libatique as usual, his cinematographer. Yep. And so there's a real texture to even the most banal settings, like, an apartment and on Alphabet Streets, whatever city it is. It's a lot of fun. And then you have these crazy like drone shots, like really muscular, fun camera work, which also I think we think of with Aronofsky. There's a cool shot, like they're walking on a grate, like they're like in a storage area, and the camera like walks along with them and tracks with them under the grate, just stuff like that. That's like the muscular Aronofsky stuff. But then it's kind of funny. Like you mentioned that Griffin Dunn is in it, and I feel like his presence harkens to After Hours. I feel like that
totally. The character's even named Paul.
Oh, it's very, very specific, I think, to try to hearken to a certain kind of New York that doesn't exist anymore. And so he's feeling nostalgic for it while also showing you, like, not in any way a softened, romanticized version of it. Like, this movie is super gross.
Yeah, no. It is grimy, but you know, they do manage to like work in some New York area landmarks in a way that I found really appealing.
Yes.
And yeah, it is the kind of film that sort of, you know, it will pivot back and forth from being quite funny to kind of horrifying, you know,
Shocking,
and so I think there are audiences that will be open for that, and I definitely have encountered people online who are like, "We walked out," you know. So it's a divisive film, but I did find that it worked for me.
Yeah, and there's a cat. There's a very important cat.
Yes, that cat is a star.
Isn't it though? Like, it just looks like right on cue, the perfect look of like wisdom and inquisitiveness.
And at first I thought, oh, come on, are we really doing cat reaction shots? But then there were enough of them where I was like, oh, no, this cat needs a platform. So, you know,
yes.
I was all for it.
I hope the cat got a SAG card. For this. Yeah, I could have had a whole movie of just the Liev, Schreiber, Vincent D'Onofrio stuff of them, you know, running around Brighton Beach and causing trouble, and but also there's like a funny kind of banter, and there's a repetition of certain lines that is very endearing. I always like to see Carol Kane; she's so cute as their mom. So.
And you know, Regina King gets a great monologue about the greatness of the black and white cookie, which
that's so specific. So my dad grew up in the Bronx and loved those as a kid, and then when he came out to LA, like found a bakery that had like perfect, authentic black and white cookies and would bring them home. So for me, still like that's a great memory for me. Like when you find the right one, you know, just the texture, just like the balance of it all, and like
it's your Madeleine.
It totally is. It's not too thickly cakey, but like not too dry. Like it's hard to achieve the perfect black and white. So that was a good thing. Great costume design, you know, important things that we see that are laced all the way through.
Very clever needle drops that are that are very 1998.
Very specific. You know, it's a thing that we talk about here a lot. Like, is the music anachronistic in trying to, you know, evoke an era? Are they too late? Are they too early? Yeah, like Garbage, Smash Mouth, and Closing Time by Semisonic are all like 97, 98.
Meredith Brooks, ma'am.
Yeah, that too.
Lest we forget.
Yeah, and Austin Butler, as you say, he's just a freaking star. Like, he's charismatic as hell, and so you believe that he can pull off this like kind of overgrown man-child, like who can party all night and still talk his way out of trouble. But then when he's called upon to show actual gravitas, you know, he has that in him too. Like, serious things happen in this movie, and he has to rise to that occasion emotionally as well, and he can. So, yeah, and still look gorgeous. Like, he gets the crap beat out of him, and he's still beautiful because he's Austin Butler.
That's how you know you're a movie star.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, and I did not expect the voice on the phone to be who the voice on the phone was. That's all.
No, that was a nice surprise.
I didn't catch that. Anyway, I will say like a 7.8. Yeah, this is one of the better Darren Aronofsky movies, given that like so many of them recently have been very dour. Like, I love Black Swan.
Sure.
You know,
I love Mother. I never want to see it again.
I do love Mother. That's true. But like, I don't love Noah.
No. I'm going to flip you. I'm an 8.7. I like this quite a bit. I thought, again, like this was a late summer that was insane with good movies. I don't know what the new logic behind these release schedules are. I know, like in the case of Splitsville, it's, you know, opening wider, but a lot of really good stuff. And it's a shocker, but if this sounds like it would be appealing to you, give it a shot.